Can you hear me now?
Oh, I can.
Yeah, I can.
Those are your fucking eyebrows.
I can hear you, man.
You're
Hey,
so
we should
fucking
do an entire
dad's,
podcast where it's just this,
dad's
man.
farm. Fucking dad's farm. Fuck.
You sold Dad's farm.
You sold dad's fucking farm.
Where's that from?
It's from the Lady Gaga movie. What's it called?
Glitter.
What was that fucking movie? You made so many edits of it.
Yeah.
Rocket Raccoon. I forgot the name of the Star is Born.
Star is Born. Yeah.
Oh,
Yes,
right.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
We're what's his name? Bradley Cooper. He mumbles a lot.
You started a cut down of just the narrative portions of Surviving Edged Weapons. I remember that where you were.
Yeah, I'm still working on that actually.
Oh,
Well, that sounds like something that you could get away with, like putting.
No,
out
yeah,
there.
that'll be fine. So I'm doing the narrative parts of what's it called?
Surviving Edged
yeah.
Weapons.
Yeah, and
It does have a story. Like
does,
if you
it does.
if you pay attention,
Yeah.
there is a thread.
Yeah.
Where like
So
a cop has
whose
to, like,
arm is it that comes out of the door trying to stab the cop?
just some other guy, some guy.
Yeah. So
Damn it! I was hoping it was a character.
what was the movie? It was like they dubbed it again and they Kung Pao, was it?
Oh
I
yeah,
believe
Kung
so.
Pao,
Yeah.
Enter the
Yeah,
Fist,
yeah. That's what I want us to do. Just re-record the voice and it's like, fuck you. This is taste my sword, you bitch.
Well, I'm gonna just consider this the start of the podcast because we.
Yeah.
Did. Hey
Wait,
everyone, welcome to Newbie Star Trek. We've been recording for a while.
What?
I'm Marvin. I'm here with Ricardo and Dan. Say hi, everyone.
I'm the Dan.
Ooh-ah.
He's
My name is Bradley
Chino.
Cooper.
I mean Bradley Cooper. You know Bradley Cooper from Scarface.
Yeah. The remake.
I could see him wanting to do a remake.
Yeah.
of Scarface,
But it would be him doing Al Pacino doing a Cuban accent.
Say hello to my silver lining.
or he
Or
plays
fucking-
the same character from
That's
Star is Born. Yeah.
Is that your fucking? Is that my real fucking friend?
You're gonna say hello to my little friend.
This is my fucking.
Oh,
eyebrows.
don't shut up, girl. Your gun is beautiful.
Anyway, welcome to Newbie Statham.
So the whole point of the podcast is that Ricardo is going through his first journey through Star Trek with us, and
Yes.
we're going to TNG right now. The episode we saw this week was Symbiosis, which is great because it's yet another Prime Directive. Yeah, we're not. We have to follow the Prime Directive, but not.
It's the primest directive.
It's the
Optimus
let's do
Prime
whatever
directive.
we want. They told us to do something with this Prime Directive, and sometimes we're like, yeah, let's follow it, and sometimes we're like,
I feel
It's
like
not.
this is the episode that has held the Prime Directive as a concept in the highest regards thus far.
So far, yes. It's even though the very
Even though they're
beginning
still
of it-
bending the shit out of it,
yeah,
they
the
at
very
least,
beginning of it sort of violates it immediately. So anyway, this episode of Symbiosis, it aired in April 18th of 1988. Dan, could you please
It
tell us
did?
what happened around that time?
Oh shoot. Well, at the time, it's been about this aired exactly 1 week after the previous episode. There was no break. But in the meantime, Sonny Bono was elected mayor of Palm Springs, California.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was ever even a thing.
Yeah, so I guess that was like one of his first stepping stones to eventually becoming a congressman.
Wait, Sonny Bono became a congressman?
Yeah.
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 Wow, I don't know. Wow.
Are you the guy from Simpsons who woke up from a coma and asked,
Yeah.
do Sonny and
It's-
Cher still have that stupid show? Well, one of them has like a Grammy and the other's a congressman. Good night.
It's funny because we just watch Austin Powers, and there's that scene in Austin Powers where he's like, a lot has changed. What happened to Jimi Hendrix? He's dead. What happened to Mama Cass? She died from a ham sandwich.
No.
So-
Anyway, moving on. Sometime in April, I just happened to see this tidbit, so I don't know exactly when in April because it won't say. But there's an arcade game by Namco released called Assault, and I just wanted to bring it up because it was one of the first examples of sprite scaling and rotation in a major video game in the arcades.
So like Mario Kart style?
Yeah, think Super Nintendo Mode 7 stuff.
Gotcha. That's cool.
Yeah,
What kind of game was it?
It was like, do you know the second level of Contra 3 where you're like walking around? Yeah, it was that.
When you're trying to go in through the... Wait, is it the hallway sections, or is that the first Contra?
That's the very first Contra. I'm talking about the top-down view where you're like a guy,
gotcha.
And then you like rotate the entire map around you, and
yes,
it was that sort of thing.
Okay.
Cool. But the headliner piece of history news at the time is that on the 16th of April, 2 days prior to the airing of this episode, Studio Ghibli's Tonari no Totoro, aka My Neighbor Totoro, released in theaters. But what a lot of people in America may not be aware of is that it was actually a double feature release.
Yeah.
And it was the other part of this double feature was none other than Hotaru no Haka, which is known over here as Grave of the Fireflies.
What a great double feature.
Which is a bleak tale of misery and dwindling hope set in the last months of World War II in Japan. It's a very harrowing affair. It's a beautiful movie that I refuse to ever watch again because I cannot deal with it. It's too sad.
Like, spoilers, the movie literally starts off with a young boy dying from starvation. So
that's step one.
Let's combine that with that's the first thing.
You know what I couldn't
what
figure
the rest
out
of the movies.
What I couldn't find out in my cursory search was which one came first.
Yeah,
I'm assuming it must be Grave of the Fireflies, right?
I think it was, because I think Grave of the Fireflies was originally the A movie and Totoro was the B. So
I think that tracks. I would imagine that they want to, leave audiences on a happier note.
But that's like, kids are coming in.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Either way, it's a very weird juxtaposition. Very, very intense emotions involved.
Yeah, it's like what is the American equivalent? Just to explain it to people. It's the equivalent of pairing, like, say, Schindler's List with, like, Back to the Future or something.
It's something like that, sure.
No, Schindler's List with Toy Story.
You go.
That's the juxtaposition you're having.
A little more
here.
like that. Yeah, like I can't imagine what it would have been like as like a parent or child in a theater on,
because Grave of the Fireflies
weekend.
is not a kids movie
not by
even
any
close.
Stretch. Even though it stars kids almost exclusively, it is not a kids movie.
Did you know they made a remake of that, a live action remake of Grave of the Fireflies?
I remember hearing about it, but I don't think I've seen it or seen it like any footage or pictures either.
And it's really weird because it's entirely from the perspective of the ant.
Oh, whatever. I don't know if I like that even as an idea.
No, that's a stupid idea. Like, it's just like
wouldn't like halfway through the movie she would just like
they're gone,
she would
and then she's
seeing
like
the kids, and that's
yeah,
it.
exactly. So I don't know.
Whatever.
What a
Unless she follows them around and just watches them. That'd be terrible.
And she watches them slowly die.
Hey, spoilers.
No. At the beginning of the whole premise of the movie is that they're dead. Like, that's the whole point. Like, it literally starts off with him dying and meeting her in the afterlife.
You see him die, but you don't know the exact fate of the other kid.
No, you know she's dead because you see they literally meet up in the afterlife, and the story is a flashback from them in the afterlife. So
I don't know if maybe it was a twin who died first. And he's like, you have to let me know where the other one is.
But that's
I died to find out.
But that's kind of the point of the movie, is that it wants to it's like trying to immediately diffuse the shock of them being dead. And the whole movie is about how did you get here? Like, because the movie doesn't want you to be like, oh my God, will they die? Like, it doesn't want that type of tension. It wants you to see how a society failed them. So it's more of an exploration of that versus like sort of exploiting how their suffering is awful and like being like, will they die or not? It's like, it's not about that. It's about like just showing how cruel society could be to people who are just trying to survive. But anyway. What a great
One last thing about that movie, the fruit candies that are prominently featured in the movie are actually very delicious.
They are.
They're just very sad. Sadly delicious.
When you have just the one in the can. English.
In fact, the first thing you have to do when you buy a tin is to pour everything out except one, and then you have to like shake it around until it's crushed up, and then you got to fill it with water.
Yeah.
And this is too inside. Hey, Symbiosis, Star Trek. What?
Yeah, it was also about a society fucking over people, I
Yeah,
guess.
this is kind of.
Yeah, this is an interesting one because it's got some heavy themes. I mean,
That
Star
it
Trek
does.
can have heavy themes,
Oh yeah.
but this one's like almost like, hey, we live in a society, like you know what I
Yeah,
mean? It's like one of those like
Get the camera, Ma. He said it.
yeah, here's a direct reflection of what goes on in America, sort of thing, and here it is.
Are you saying that this episode is like the TNG's Joker?
It's like it's like TNG's very special episode.
Kind of, sort of. Yeah, it kind of gets there because like it was, it's like drug addiction.
Yeah,
The heavy subject of
spoilers.
drug addiction.
That's the twist. You just ruined the twist.
No, I didn't say nothing except drug addiction. It's the only thing I said.
Ricardo. How did you feel about this episode? Could you take us through it, please?
I didn't watch it.
Also,
That
before
gets
you
more
go,
plausible every week.
who's your Ricardo of the
These
week?
days, I'm not gonna watch it for real. Just wing it.
Like when you went to school, we forgot to read the book you have to do the report on, and you're just
Yeah, it's like one thing TNG exports is corn.
Yeah. Well,
or
as you can see by the cover,
maize.
of the book, there are very few mice, and there are more men than mice.
And that's part of the social disparity.
Yeah.
Where their men overtake the mice.
Yeah, if they
Even
had an
though this
equal amount
world
of
is of
mice
both
to
mice.
men, it would be a great book. But I was really upset by the lack of mice in this book. All right, all right.
Laid out all these plans.
So the gang, they're in space. They're still exploring shit. And, I mean, the captain's still in charge, even though he's had so many things go wrong.
Oh wait! Before you go,
Yeah.
did you have a Picard of the week?
Oh, I do. I don't remember his name. Hold on. Give me like 2 seconds. We're gonna cut this out.
No, we're not.
And no, we're not.
No, we're not.
He is a Picard. He's British. I'm keeping them. I'm trying to keep them British. He's a Picard. He's British, and his name is Henry Golding.
Henry Golding, who's that?
Yeah, he was in Crazy Rich Asians. He was on Last Christmas, The Gentleman.
Henry Golding.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He's
okay.
He's a Malaysian TV host, actor, model.
Okay.
But yeah.
Oh, and then he moved to England. Interesting.
Yeah, his father's English.
Okay, have
And
we
this-
seen him bald?
No, but I mean,
You could have a Picard not bald. Like there's flashbacks. We will
no.
see of Picard
Look. We have to have a bald Picard.
It has to be bald.
Yeah.
You're the Star Trek nemesis like logic where all Picards must be bald. regardless.
Non-negotiable.
No, it's called the transporter effect. Everyone's got to be like Jason Statham. Just a
Part of the
little
side.
balding on top. Anyway, that's my Picard of the week. Henry Golding. Yeah.
But in the meantime, Patrick Stewart is still in charge.
Yeah. He's still in charge. They still haven't taken his command away. And they're in the Delos system, and they are studying some bullshit, dude. Some like radiation or magnetic fields. No one really cares, dude.
It seems like they put the ship at tremendous risk just to get a good look at these solar flares.
Yeah, it's like, hey, I've never seen an eclipse. Let's get really close to the sun and see what it's really about, dude. And they get really close, and there's radiations. There's things happening to their instrumentation that is like really fucked up. And for like, they keep saying, hey, we're gonna shift everything to yellow alert, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not red alert, yellow alert, because things are going to be going off. Everyone's got to be at their stations, and they're got to be on high alert.
Just a dash of panic.
Yeah. But you know what? Let's keep this fucking stupid ensign, this bitch ass fucking Wesley. Let's put him in fucking the bridge because we're not in danger right now.
Wait, hold on. Is he an ensign? already?
Yeah, he's been an ensign for a while.
Yeah.
Oh, how come he hasn't how come he's still wearing a dumb sweater?
He's an acting ensign. He's always been an acting ensign for a while.
Yeah, acting the
all right.
fool.
Acting. Okay, fine. I'll take acting.
Yeah.
So there's shit happening to people's consoles. They're all shining. There's weird shit happening, dude. Solar flares. And they suddenly get a distress signal. And they're like, okay. And Picard's like, fuck, get us closer, dude. Gotta see what's up with this bullshit, dude. And as they get closer and closer, they realize that there's space truckers again.
Yeah.
Out and about.
Essentially.
Yeah, it's more space truckers.
Yeah. And these space truckers are falling closer and closer into orbit, and eventually they're just gonna get sucked up by the fucking sun and die. And these guys are very stupid. What is their clan of people called? The
Breckas.
The stupids.
I think the
Coneheads.
Ornarans are the ones who are in the freighter.
Okay.
Or wait, no, they're all together, right?
They're all in the freighter.
Yeah, they're all in the freighter because they're about to make a deal. But you find out that later. But there's two groups of people that are there. It's funny because there's a bunch of space truckers, and the ship seems big, but there's only a total of 6 people there.
Yeah.
On the ship.
That happens. That's a thing that happens in like Alien too, right? Where
I guess so.
True.
But for people this stupid, it seems like it takes at least 10 people to screw in a light bulb when they're that stupid. And these dumb fucks that are in this fucking space truck, they're like, hey, we're falling into orbit. We don't know what to do. Can you tell us what to do? And they're like, yeah, well, we're gonna try to pull you out of orbit with the tractor beam. And the tractor beam doesn't work. They keep falling closer and closer to
because of
to
the
sun.
fucking electromagnetic radiation.
Yeah, they keep getting closer and closer to this planet. It's not the sun, actually. I think.
Yeah, they're just falling into a planet. They're trying to be in orbit around it and failed.
And they're like, hey, you know that coil, the PW3 coil? You just gotta align it, and then it'll be fine. We'll even send you a coil. Send it on over. You guys fix it up, and you guys will fly right out of there. And they're like, sure. What is that coil? And they start asking very dumb questions.
Yeah.
How do you realign it? And they're like, okay, well, here are the instructions. They're like, yeah, we don't know how to do that, dude. There's no one here that can know. Tim, do you know how to do that? And he's like, nah, dude.
They're not just dumb. They have it's like they're stoned and have no motivation at all. Well, it's like when they try to tractor beam them out and it failed, they were like, I'm so sorry, the tractor beam's not working. They're like, it's fine, man. Thanks for trying.
Yeah.
Like they're just like whatever.
At least you tried.
I don't know if this is them trying to like depict a stoned crew or not.
I think they're trying to. Like, I think this smacks of we don't know how people who are high act.
Yep.
So we're gonna.
It's a bunch of white writers that have never been high, apparently.
So in one scene they'll be stoned like they've been smoking, but in another scene they're going to be jonesing like they are on heroin because there's no difference.
Yeah, well, it's like an omni drug. Every illicit substance known to man and all the side effects.
Every possible symptom, every possible side effect.
Yeah.
So they're like, well, we can't get this coil fixed. It's fucked. And then they figure the people on the bridge of the Enterprise, they're like, okay, this is what we're gonna do. You guys go to your transporter room. We'll try to get Jason Statham to work on it, and we're gonna beam you guys back to our ship so you guys get saved. So they're gonna beam up 6 people, and they still can't figure that out. They're like, what? Who? Where?
We don't really do that.
Yeah, how do we do that?
It reminds me of conversations I've had at work with some people.
Oh my god! And so they not hologram. What is it called? They teleport.
Yeah, they transport.
They transport the first person, I guess. It's supposed to be a person.
Yeah.
And instead of a person, this cargo thing shows up.
Yeah.
Yeah. These it's hard to describe. It's just a bunch of cylinders.
Yeah, it looks like
it's like gas tanks.
Yeah, pretty much tanks.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Hey guys, you guys sent over fucking cargo instead of saving yourselves." And they're like, yeah, we're fine. We'll get there. And then finally they beam up people, and it turns out that they only get saved 4 out of 6. And nobody seems worried that 2 people just fucking died.
Yeah.
At all.
No one at all. And at
No.
first, the Starfleet officer is like, "Aren't you a little more concerned about those 2 who died?" And then
And they're
as
like,
soon
no,
as
no,
they're
no.
like,
no, our cargo, where's our cargo?
then Starfleet also forgets about those 2.
Yeah.
They aren't even named.
It's not even clear whether they were Brekkians or Ornarans.
Yeah, they're just dead now.
But no one gives a shit.
And quickly you realize like, oh, one of the writers saw some fucking 2020 or a current affair segment where they're talking about the crack epidemic, and they decided, oh, we'll fucking write it into the fucking show, knowing probably nothing about ever being high or taking drugs or how anything works.
Thanks, President Ronnie.
Yeah, bitch ass Ronnie. And then so these guys they take into the cargo hold so they can see that their cargo's there, and they're all happy, and they're like, yeah. And then so basically it's 2 groups of people. It's the people that are jonesing for the drugs and the people that are providing the drugs, which are so like you have like, look, if I had to describe them, they're like redneck people, that are looking to score some meth.
Yeah, they have like space overalls on.
Yeah. It's like that Jennifer Lawrence movie that made her popular. What's it called?
The Hunger Games?
No, the one before that. Where like
the one where she was
like Missouri.
This is Misery. It's like they had to. There's a scene where they had to like dump a body in a lake or something.
Yeah, Winter's Bone. Winter's Bone.
There we go. There we go. Yeah.
And then you have these 2 like upper like uppity fucking rich fucking people that have the drugs that these dudes need.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, yeah, so like this is our stuff because you didn't provide the goods that we were supposed to trade with.
But the thing is, all of this is under the pretense that they lie to the Enterprise, and pretend that this is all under the pretense that this is medicine.
Yeah. They're like, look, we need this medicine for our people back home and ourselves. Well, they didn't even say for ourselves. They just say we need this medicine for the people back in our home.
Well, what's strange is that at first they actually withhold the fact that it is medicine. Yeah. Right? Like it takes a while for them to say what they believe it is.
Mm-hmm. Right, because the Brekkians truly believe it's medicine.
Yeah.
Whereas the Brekkians, the rich people?
The Brekkians are the assholes, yeah.
Okay.
The Ornarans are the ones who joan.
Okay, so the Ornarans believe it's truly medicine.
Yeah.
And then the Brekkians are the ones who secretly know it's not medicine. Although
Drugs.
It can be used as medicine, but it's basically like the opioid crisis right now.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, it's literally what's going on.
It has a really bad side effect.
Yeah, and you quickly realize like that. Well, I mean, we're not spoiling anything because you're watching this, you're listening to this with us. So
yeah, exactly.
You quickly realize like that these people both came from like they kind of originated from the same group of people, right?
It's almost like a Vulcan Romulan situation.
Yeah. They had the kind of the same DNA, and they had the same ailments.
Mm-hmm.
And these rich fuckers cured themselves with this medicine, but quickly realized that it was a drug, so they got off of it. They had withdrawals, but they got off of it. But then they had this other group of people, the space truckers, and they wanted stuff from them, so they didn't tell them, hey, stop taking that because you're cured already. Now it's just a drug. And they kept taking it, and now they've become addicted to it. So now they need it. And these rich folk are taking advantage of them by trading goods with them. And now they both kind of need each other, but one of them is definitely taking advantage of the other.
Well, the crazy thing about the Brekkians is that they reveal that making and exporting that drug to Ornara was their only source of anything,
which is
their entire economy and planet is
that's impossible.
On that. That's a little crazy.
Mm-hmm. Even like fucking like Hawaii is like the most like, for example, Hawaii is like the most like centered on one type of industry for like their economy as much as you can get, like just tourism. And even then they have farms. Almonds. Yeah,
I thought you were going to say pineapples.
Yeah,
they exactly. But they do have farms. They have other fishing. They have other things going on. It's impossible for an entire society to be based on drugs.
They have pretty decent weed, though.
Like an entire planet.
Like,
an
entire
goddamn planet.
Yeah, that's impossible. Like that doesn't. Yeah.
So basically, immediately, they start they're trying to negotiate. Like, hey, so like you have to give us this drug because we'll die. So they're in a weird predicament, and like. We should just get it out of the way, and then we could kind of talk about the different like scenes. But basically, So what is what is violating the Prime Directive?
So that's the problem of every Prime Directive episode, right?
Yeah.
Because if we're skipping ahead, let's just get to the ending where he's like, okay,
Sure.
I can't violate the Prime Directive by directly intervening and telling the Ornarans, hey, you don't actually have a plague anymore. You guys are just addicted to opioids.
Yeah,
right?
but why can't he? What in the Prime? What I'm asking is, what in the Prime Directive prevents him from doing that?
See, you don't really know because then the way Picard cleverly subverts that but still sticks to the Prime Directive is say, oh, those magnetic coils we were going to give you, we're no longer going to give them to you. And then the Breckians are like, if you do that means we can no longer trade with the Ornarans, which means they'll no longer get a supply of the drugs. But they don't say drugs, they say the medicine out loud.
Right.
So inadvertently, Picard is like, not inadvertently, but in an indirect way, he is cutting off their supply.
Right.
Of
He's
drugs.
making an entire planet go cold turkey.
Yeah. And it's like, that doesn't make much sense because you offered to give them the coils in the first place. So
yeah, like it's really weird to make that offer and then rescind it.
Yeah. And on top of that, it's been established in the past that if you are an alien species that is capable of space, they're probably capable of warp drive too. Not just space travel, because they have transporters and shit.
Yeah, of course.
So isn't that advanced enough to interact with as a regular species?
I don't know if maybe the writers of the show kind of tried to make it seem as though they weren't capable of warp travel yet, because Geordi says, well, they haven't advanced much in those 200 years.
But that doesn't necessarily rule it out, though, because it doesn't rule it out. But like when humans got warp drive, like they were basically kind of like us, but with laser guns. Like there was that's the level of technology they were at. Like, so they were also super primitive. So I don't understand what the exact level. So I think the writers try to, because we never learn directly what's in the Prime Directive. That's the way the writers get around it, by never explicitly stating what the rules are. And there's like a little conversation Picard has with Beverly at the end of the show where he sort of, I've actually pulled the clip, so let's just listen to it really quickly here.
When the Felicium runs out, the people of Ornara will suffer horrible withdrawal pains.
No doubt, but they will pass.
That seems so cruel. We could have made their burden easier.
Could we have? Perhaps in the short term. To what end? Hold. Beverly, the Prime Directive is not just a set of rules. It is a philosophy, and a very correct one. History has proved again and again that whenever mankind interferes with a less developed civilization, no matter how well-intentioned that interference may be, the results are invariably disastrous.
It's hard to be philosophical when faced with suffering.
Believe me, Beverly, there was only one decision.
I just hope it was the right one.
And we may never know.
It's weird because I think the writers are actually using that ending clip, that line, to sort of imply that the Prime Directive is, you have to like use your best judgment. It's not like a set of strict rules. And I think the only like so far this episode is maybe the most logical way of approaching Prime, because there were other Prime Directive episodes before this, but I think they were pretty dumb in terms of sort of their inconsistency. And I think this episode tries to talk about the consistency by being like, okay, maybe at first we thought they were more advanced than they were, so that's why we were willing to help them. But then now that we realize that they're not very advanced, we're going to take it back. But that seems like a stretch too. It seems like the writers are just trying to cover.
Yeah, like everything about it feels so messy.
Yeah.
It's never, and I feel like it's a problem that they've never, like, at least as far as I've seen, they never successfully solved.
Have they now released like the Prime Directives?
We still actually don't know exactly what's in it. Like, apparently there is, like, it's weird because like there's lots of different not fake, but like non-canon, I guess, interpretations of what's in it. I think in Voyager they had like lines that are specifically from the Prime Directive. But I think what also makes it really confusing is that the Prime Directive is apparently like a big document. Like apparently there's a bunch of, it's like almost like a constitution of like it has like a bunch of different orders that are part of the entire thing you call the Prime Directive. So that makes it really confusing. So I think that's why ultimately a lot of people just go, we're just going to try to interpret it, and we don't really know what it is or isn't going to be.
Has there ever been an instance of people citing pieces of the Prime Directive, like article such and such, section such and such of the Prime Directive states, and I quote, blah 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 blue, Star Trek noise?
I don't know. I feel like Voyager may have done that. And I know there's like non-canon books that go, this is what the Prime Directive is, and it lays it out. But I don't think it's ever mentioned in like a canonical episode in a very direct way where they use it like a document, even though it apparently exists as a document. I don't know. Basically, it's basically used as an interesting sci-fi idea. And the core of what Picard says is true. It's like, hey,
like the way Picard frames it in his little speech there makes it almost as though the Prime Directive is based on like almost like a remorseful history of human events, where it's like every time where like some like self-proclaimed like more advanced quote unquote civilization decides upon themselves to like, you know, essentially colonize another place or take over a place or exploit like, you know, a lesser or a less advanced civilization. It seems like those examples are what kind of guided them to come up with this directive, along with other examples in which, you know, less malicious intents still nevertheless resulted in bad outcomes.
Yeah, I don't know. It's almost like it's like they're trying to be as anti-colonialist as they can be,
which is kind of funny because they like,
but then they colonize like crazy.
Yeah, not only that, but like there's also always this like general undercurrent of like, well, we still know that we're the correct civilization, right? Like, there's always this unspoken like, you know, assumption. It's like, yeah, but we're right. We're the humans.
You know,
we're the protags. We're good.
And they're all a bunch. They're all a bunch of mostly white people.
Yeah, like they're crazy.
Basically asserting the fact that they're correct.
So
you know,
a crazy passport.
Is the Prime Directive laws, or are they just guidelines?
There's I don't see. That's another thing. Like, apparently, it is a collection
of laws.
Yeah, but that's the thing. You can be court-martialed based on your violation of the Prime Directive. So I don't know what it is.
There's still murder, right? In this world, right? And there's still rape and all the
And like I think
things.
I think what Star Trek attempts to work towards is like, I think they're trying to do more of like a restorative justice sort of thing, where like if something went really bad, they try to like. But there's definitely jail. That's definitely a thing in Star Trek. And I don't know. Like these are the aspects of society that when Gene Roddenberry made the series, they were like, okay, we've gone beyond that, but these things still exist in the background, and we don't really talk about it. You know, like there's a lot of things where like a Star Trek like whatever canon says like, hey, we no longer have money. We're not a money-based society anymore, right? But then how the fuck do you do anything with any other civilization that uses money?
Right.
Like
sex work.
It's purely and like then how do you and also it's like then I mean to be honest, it's like then how do you have like careers in Star Trek?
Yeah. Like a bunch of fucking people that are
like
liberal arts
I know,
degrees.
Like I know that like, you know, I know that money is not like the driving force of everyone's career, obviously, but there's a lot of menial tasks in Star Trek world where you're like, hey, I'm the guy in engineering who just watches the whatever, right? And if you're that guy, why do you keep doing that? If
I don't know, like, yeah, there's something about like the society or like the world of Star Trek that feels like we tried our best to imagine a society that's better than us, and we never quite succeeded.
Yeah, and we don't really have the answers as to how.
Yeah, in the end, we're stuck being human here.
Yeah,
it just give us a break.
Yeah, it's just like how do people who are not very successful in society get by?
You know what it's
You know,
like?
like-
It's like when a writer tries to write like the Riddler or or any other genius character that's smarter than they actually are.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, then they come up with these vague concepts and like ideas that sound pretty good, but then as soon as you start scrutinizing a little bit and digging in, it's like, wait, what?
Yeah.
What do
yeah,
you mean? Like, how's that? What?
Yeah, that's one of the things about Star Trek Society is that it despite all of the technical manuals and stuff that really explains things in the technical side, like when you like not avoid, but like you take a close look at how society is supposed to work, it just kind of falls apart. Like the biggest example is fucking Captain Sisko's dad's restaurant in New Orleans, and you're like, how do you have a restaurant in an economy that's not based on money? And I guess your restaurant is like historically preserved, but then you just make food all day for no reason. Like I don't understand.
This is a tangent at this point, but I just got really curious because you're talking about it again. Like that restaurant, do they use any replicator technology?
No, that's what makes it famous is that he makes everything from scratch. If I remember correctly, it's been a while since I've watched DS9.
Okay, then from whence does he source his ingredients?
I don't know.
God damn it!
I imagine it's from a farm.
They're organic, dude. Grass fed.
I imagine it's from a farm because there are still some things in the Star Trek universe where it's prized.
Because I was about to say, if you just replicate the individual ingredients, that's bullshit.
No, like for example, Picard's family owns vineyards, right? So that's why their wine is, famed for being real, not replicated. And then like it's also like a running joke.
Wait, is there a canonically in universe like popular Picard wine?
I think so.
Oh, it's a California wine by Paul Marzone.
The French.
Hey, this is good lore I'm learning today.
Look, what it comes down to is that these Prime Directive episodes are ass. They're not good, dude.
They're can of worms that you never want to open. That's a problem.
Yeah, it's like a time travel plot because like it doesn't make sense, but it allows for interesting situations to occur.
Mm-hmm.
But when you look at it closely, you're like, why did that happen? It doesn't make a lot of sense. And then you're like,
I'm a bigger sucker for time travel though.
Yeah, me too. Like,
yeah, time travel is like a lot of fun. This is just more like, why are you doing that?
Is this our third Prime Directive episode or second?
I think it's our third. Justice was one, and then I forget what the other. We definitely had another one at least this season.
The Discount Wakanda episode.
Yeah, that was definitely one as well. Yeah. That was the first one where
I think
that was definitely like we're white people, we're superior to this race, and it was like it was really weird.
I don't like them. Every time I'm starting to dread them now because they're not good. It just like there's more questions than there are answers in a bad way.
Yeah, isn't it? Like
Mm-hmm.
I like I said last episode, I honestly think TNG doesn't get the Prime Directive right until towards the last 2 seasons. That's when they have an episode. I forget what it's called, but basically it's another Prime Directive episode, but you're like, okay, there's no logical inconsistency here. You're doing it correctly. So, and it makes a lot more sense. I think early on, because that's the problem is that if you don't, it's like when a horror movie doesn't set the ground rules, for it follows doesn't set the ground rules, for like what is the It Follows creature capable of or not,
why suddenly give you herpes?
It's like, why is it so powerful here, but then later you can shoot it with a shotgun, like it's unclear.
Because you got it wet, like a gremlin.
Yeah, but see, Gremlins, very clear rules, and you're like, okay, sure, that sets understands where the plot
wait, hold on. How clear is after midnight?
Yeah, that's true. That's always like a
fuck off with that.
That's always a sticking point. Also, isn't water always in the air? Like
What if it's really foggy out?
There's like a saturation point.
If they're in Florida and the humidity is really high.
Yeah, you have to keep you have to keep a barometer near you at all times.
Yeah, it's a strange setup. Like we kind of rushed through the whole episode, but basically it boils down to and there's another thing I wanted to bring up, which I got a clip of, which is there's like a really infamous we're doing a PSA moment here with Wesley. And let me bring that up really quick. Yeah.
That's true.
Data. I can understand how this could happen to the Arnarans. What I can't understand is why anyone would voluntarily become dependent on a chemical.
Voluntary addiction to drugs is a recurrent theme in many cultures.
Wesley, no one wants to become dependent. That happens later.
But it does happen, so why do people start?
On my home planet, there was so much poverty and violence that for some, the only escape was through drugs.
How can a chemical substance provide an escape?
It doesn't. But it makes you think it does. You have to understand, drugs can make you feel good. They make you feel on top of the world. You're happy, sure of yourself, in control.
Sign me up.
But it's artificial.
It doesn't feel artificial until the drug wears off. Then you pay the price. Before you know it, you're taking the drug not to feel good, but to keep from feeling bad.
And that's the trap.
All you care about is getting your next dosage. Nothing else matters.
I guess I just don't understand.
Wesley, I hope you never do.
So how could Wesley not? His mom's a doctor.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
But it proves my point that she's a fucking deadbeat mom, dude.
She never told him
granted,
anything.
By the way,
this is the Starfleet Society, the advanced society we were talking about. It's very possible that addiction is something that is kind of not really a problem in the environments Wesley was raised in.
But
so.
there should still be some awareness.
Yeah.
Of like,
But the whole time when I was watching the episode and
You're
watching
thinking
that
too
scene,
small, Marvin.
Oh,
You're not imagining a good enough civilization later.
when I was watching that episode, when I was watching the episode and I was watching that scene, this is all I could think about.
Get out of here, Dewey. What are y'all doing in here? We're smoking reefer. And you don't want no part of this shit. You're smoking reefers? Yeah, of course we are. Can't you smell it? No, Sam. I can't.
Come on, Dewey. Join the party.
No, Dewey. You don't want this. Get out of here. You know what? I don't want no hangover. I can't get no hangover. It doesn't give you a hangover. Well, I get addicted to it or something? It's not habit forming. Oh, okay, well, I don't know. I don't want to overdose on it. You can't OD on it. It's not going to make me want to have sex, is it? It makes sex even better. Sounds kind of expensive. It's the cheapest drug there is.
I just wanted somebody to tell, like, run down that speech with.
what if
with
Worf
Wesley?
came out from the other side of
like-
Tasha and was like,
he's like,
actually,
actually.
Klingons love drugs.
Yeah, we love this herb that grows from the ground. It's called weed.
Like, it is fun watching Tasha feel or like seem to like talk about the perils of drugs in such a happy way. It's like it makes you feel good.
I bet you she's like an ecstasy person.
Like, man, I miss it.
Yeah, you want to just like touch everything, and you want people to touch you.
Oh
But
yeah,
it seems
totally
like
her.
so hypocritical when they all drink, and drinking is
Yeah,
just
yeah,
drugs.
yeah.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
There's a whole
Doesn't
episode
give
where
you
they're
a
super-
hangover.
also, Wesley knows exactly what it's like to
Yeah.
be
He got high.
because he was drunk in the Naked Now.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
the same fucking thing. It's
well, they feel a little different. I'll imagine.
yeah, that's a little different, but it's like when you ask how could a chemical make you feel good, it's like you fucking already felt it, you piece of shit.
I just don't know how like the captain could allow like these people were clearly taking advantage of the other people, and like, look, I get it, they need each other, but there's got to be like he could have been diplomatic about it and being like, you guys are just addicted to this. If you just wait a
Well,
bit, you'll pull
Prime
through.
Directive. He's not allowed to even tell them that for some reason.
But he's constantly violating the Prime Directive. It
know.
doesn't fucking matter.
That's exactly
'cause,
the
like, even
problem.
though you try to come up with that
matter.
loophole of like, well, this is information you already know.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you're also having a very tense conversation with them, trying to influence what they do.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's just doesn't. They're like ahas don't feel like they're actually
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
like they didn't actually figure it out, you know.
It's like they were trying to write a clever thing, but it doesn't quite
Yeah.
mesh. I don't know.
It's lame, dude. I wanted Jason Statham to come out and just beat the shit out of everybody.
You're transporting drugs.
Pretty much any mediocre
Fuck you,
TNG
Mike.
episode would be improved
Yeah.
greatly by inserting a Jason Statham kick-ass scene.
Yeah, dude.
If Jason Statham was on the Syndrome planet, like those robots would have no chance, right?
No. The sex
I
robots?
kind of want him to have a catchphrase like, "It's Statham time."
Yeah. It's
like
transporting
morphin'
time. It's transporting time.
By the way, there's a scene. By the way, okay, before we get to the scene, I was going to talk about. For some reason, everyone has like thunder powers, like electric powers.
Yeah.
Why do they like that?
It's like inconsequential to the plot. But
They were holding.
They just needed to give them a weapon that they could set up early on and have still on them when they need to threaten Riker.
It wasn't even. It was like Jubilee from the X-Men's power. Like it was basically useless.
Yeah, it was like static shock, like a little bit of electricity. But the funny part is, it makes for a scene that completely breaks the tone. Because when the Ornarian guy grabs Riker is stuck in that pose.
Yeah,
his face, he's got this frozen O face where
it's good.
He constantly can't deal with it, and then when he finally gets let go, he goes, "Oh, my insides are still shaking." I'm fine.
So
now,
maybe they're not
about
electrical powers. Maybe they're like the Shocker.
They're just vibrators. They're like really like.
Oh my god!
Basically,
they vibrate. It's like the Flash. They're vibrating so much it creates like an electrical field. There's also one really fun little Easter egg that's towards the end of the episode. You know the shot where Picard and Beverly are walking out of the what's it called, the cargo bay, and they're going into the turbo lift.
Oh, going into, okay.
Yeah, in the background you see Tasha Yar, and she waves as the door closes. She waves at the camera. The director told her to do that because he thought it'd be a fun little Easter egg. But
I didn't even wait. Hold on.
Yeah, it's like a blink and you'll miss it. But way in the background, in the shot where Picard and Beverly are entering the turbo lift, you'll see Tasha just really quickly doing a wave as the doors close. Just fun. It's a fun detail. But yeah, that was our really roundabout synopsis of Symbiosis. This type of synopsis is kind of like our first episode where we were all over the place and kind of.
I guess it's been a while since we were this like scattered in terms of where in the plot we were talking about.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because the twist is there. Like there obviously is a twist, but because of the way they act, you kind of are like telegraphed what the issue because they're acting like they're going through heroin withdrawal.
Yeah.
So if you know what's going, if you ever seen anything like that, you're like, oh yeah, they need some drugs.
And not even if you've seen any after school special, you know what's going on.
Yeah, exactly. Which is basically, this is the equivalent of Star Trek's after school special of don't let drugs get you.
Just real quick, can we talk about that guy on the home planet who like broadcasts up to them? It's like, hey, where's my guys? And then they like, here are your guys. It's like, hey, you got the stuff? We're trying to get you stuff. I don't want to hear about it.
That's their leader. That reminds me of the Dave Chappelle, like, the president is addicted to crack joke.
Yeah.
Where he's like, come on, baby, sign the treaty. I'll suck your dick.
And then the way
that's all this was missing.
The way they like get the drugs, it's like a weird like little like it's funny the little gizmo that like makes the drug. They put the little pellet of drugs in this little hole, but the whole thing looks like a starter from a car.
Well, what's funny is that
it
like
probably
also,
is
also during that scene, like the jerk rich guy, he's like, he starts talking like and waxing poetic about how they managed to condense and make it like stronger and more potent it's like, yeah, you're just describing drugs.
Yeah, that's called heroin. That's how you're making poppies.
That was quite a few doses there. I think they said it was like over 4 billion in a canister.
Yeah.
That's a lot of goddamn people.
Yeah, and it lasts. It's a long high. It apparently lasts 72 hours. So that's really effective. That's a good high.
Give me some of that.
See the size of that chicken.
Let me see on the
Yeah, Ricardo, what would you rate this episode?
Man,
By the way, the drug was called Felicium.
Yeah, it was called Felice because it makes you happy. Get it?
Felice.
Sick burn, dude.
That wasn't a burn at all.
Yeah, it wasn't a burn. There's an explanation.
The sick burn on the writers. So yeah, this was a hard episode to get through because it was so stupid and like so like this is like the most hated episode I've watched so far.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'll take a Wesley episode any day over this bullshit.
It's probably because the Prime Directive is just wearing thin as a thing.
And now that you're telling me that it's not clear anywhere, I hate it even more. I don't like that. I don't like that. Look, I get it. You don't want to give away what the thing is, but after the show or after the next series, they should have said, hey, this is the Prime Directive. We fucking sat down and figured it out. This is what it is. But it's kind of a cop-out because you keep fucking...
it's totally a cop-out.
It's bullshit. I don't like it.
It's basically an easy way to... But part of it is also because they went so long without explaining it that they now have so many different interpretations of the Prime Directive that can no longer be consistent with one written document.
Yeah, it's like the Bible, where everyone's interpreting that the wrong way.
I get the feeling that a Star Trek, like a Trekkie scholar, would tell you like there are eras of the Prime Directive and how it was interpreted.
Oh God,
we don't want to talk to
I bet you someone comment now.
I'm sure there is. Like there's eras of warp drive, right? Like when you saw the Stargazer do the warp drive.
Oh yeah.
It had
but that's
effect.
cool because there are like visual effects to call back to.
Yeah, that's like an Easter egg almost, where you're like, oh
yeah,
right,
but you can't be like, oh man, I remember how they used to do the Prime Directive back then. Man,
yeah,
good shit.
Back then, they had a loophole where you could just fuck them.
Yeah, but back then, early on, you could basically kill your friends, the whatever girl you wanted to fuck, you could kill her husband, and they let you get away with them.
Oh, it's like Old Testament, New Testament.
Yeah,
Old Testament.
Yeah.
Old Prime Directive, New Prime Directive.
Yeah.
Old Testament's just TOS.
Old Testament's the original series, and Jesus is the next generation.
Yeah.
Oh boy!
That's strong. I believe in that now.
See, I can get behind that when they're like, "Look, it was one way," but then we realize, fuck it. So we changed it. Yeah.
So what's Voyager? Voyager is like Seventh-day Adventists, and then and then DS9. What's like DS9's like Buddhism because they're very stationary. They don't move anywhere, and they're just there.
So my rating, I would give it a 2, and I'm being nice.
Damn, that's low. Woo. I think the central, like if you remove the Prime Directive idea, I think the central idea with the twist of like a society being fucked over by a drug addiction.
That is an interesting concept.
Yeah, but like in Star Trek is interesting, but it's bumbled a lot. I think. Like it's telegraphed a lot. You immediately know what's going on. Like I didn't remember this episode that well, but you can immediately tell they have a drug problem.
Yeah, I kind of forgot the whole dang thing. And actually, at first, before they just straight up called it a drug addiction, I was starting to wonder. It's like, is this like one of those conspiracy big pharma types of stories where it's like, hey, the manufacturers, I mean, essentially it is kind of that, where it's like the manufacturers of the quote unquote medicine are what's making you sick,
Yeah, exactly.
It's like classic conspiracy.
It's already all there. So you already had the tone of that being there. So like the twist doesn't really work. Prime Directive's annoying, so I think I give it like a 4 or 5, somewhere there. Because like, I think you could have made it. It's also part of what kind of gives it away is that they're fucking high at the beginning. So like,
but like weed high at first.
Yeah,
and
they're
then they
total
turn
stoners at the beginning, and you're like, yeah, they're high. Like you immediately think they're high. Like there's no other way.
Or actually more like opioid high, I guess.
Yeah, I guess at that point they were high, but their high went off
because it wasn't just that they were like forgetful and like like kind of scatterbrained, but they were also like, I don't give a fuck about nothing except this shit.
Yeah.
Put that shit on the transporter. We gotta preserve it now. And what's funny is that the Breckians were completely on board with that. Yep, preserve that. Put that on the board. Put that on the transporter first. We'll come later.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird, huh?
Yeah, the Breckians should have been clear-headed about it. How come they weren't like, no, we're coming.
Yeah,
Transport us, please.
We'll figure this out later, and we have more of this shit. Like, let's get the
planet
safety.
making this.
Yeah,
Our whole planet.
Yeah, in fact, why weren't they on the comms saying like, these guys are high as shit. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Please save us. We are burning up on this shit too.
Yeah,
yeah.
We're high as shit. Send some iced tea over or something.
Okay, I was gonna call this a 4.5, but now it's a 4. It's a 4 now.
Too high,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah.
It's too high.
They're too high. Oh no.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I watched this episode really late last night, and I wasn't high enough, man.
You have to get even higher.
Yeah,
you have to get adequately high to enjoy a very special episode of anything.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, what if
It's so ironic. It's so ironic.
Yeah, exactly. You get high and watch the after school special of everyone being high. And that's
You're just sitting in the corner coughing and laughing at the kid.
yeah. It's like watching that episode of Fresh Prince where Will gets shot, you know, but you're holding a gun as you're watching it.
Yeah.
And just lazily shooting around your room.
Yeah, lazily spinning, doing revolver ocelot gun spins as you're watching.
Try to turn off the light by shooting the switch.
and
there.
turning 5 guns into 1 gun.
No, 1 gun into 5 guns.
Oh, 1 gun to 5 guns. I'm sorry, I went backwards.
You have to increase the number of guns. What are you talking about? What are you doing?
You got to do your gun katas.
Oh man, this episode was a mess.
Yeah.
Symbiosis.
Yeah, it's a don't worry about it episode. Next episode, it is a very controversial episode. Next episode is Skin of Evil, and I've told Ricardo, please don't read anything about it, watch anything about it, because
you were talking about the next episode.
This episode too, though. Because as a part of this episode,
I could have read anything. This episode, I could have watched even higher. So you should have said, "Hey, you're adequately high to watch this episode." It's a fucking
man,
episode.
It was a very special episode.
You do you. You get high as you think you need to. Okay, Ricardo.
It's crazy, man.
It's crazy.
I mean, nothing was stopping you from getting high as the episode played.
That's true. That's true.
All right, Symbiosis is this is Newbie Star Trek.
Yeah.
You wanted to see more episodes, you can go to NEWBIE StarTrek.com or, wherever you listen to podcasts. Literally anywhere at this point. And we also have our other podcast, the Fugitive Frames Film Podcast, which should have a new episode up very soon.
It's up right now.
It's up right now. Oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh
damn, I didn't get that.
And there'll be a new episode at the end of the month as well.
Sick. I was seeing you behind the scenes updating things. I was like, ooh, it's going.
Yeah.
It's going. It's happening.
It's happening,
cool.
yes. Hey, if you guys like the sweet taste of espresso snowflake or cherry gummies or huckleberry gummies, go ahead and log on to ease.com. It's very easy to do. They have all your tinctures, your chocolates, your edibles, your herbs, your old time. If you're like a hipster and you're like, I only like old timey herbs, they have that, dude. Get as high as Wesley looks in that one episode where he's really high.
Get crazy looking, like Wesley.
Get as crunk as Wesley
when he's pushing the buttons.
Yeah.
And the engineer lady is telling him, "You can't do that.
Yeah.
You don't know what you're doing."
Go to Ease and then tell them in the comment section that they should sponsor our podcast.
Tell them that not sponsoring our podcast would be in violation of the Prime Directive.
Yeah. Tell them that.
Wait, not interfering with our podcast is
violating? Not sponsoring us is in violation of the Prime Directive.
Yeah. They have
to sponsor us.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they're in violation.
Yeah.
I mean, that's about as clear as the rest of it, so that works for me.
Yeah, and if you live in one of the states where it's still legal, I'm sorry. I apologize.
Oh my god. Okay, this is completely random, but I'm just looking at Star Trek stats. I mean, the podcast stats, and it's like randomly, hey, this week extra 420.
Yeah,
downloads.
No way, dude. Yes, dude.
Yo,
exactly. Your podcast downloads went up 420.
Yeah, dude.
The
They know
last
what's
few
up.
days.
Hot damn.
Look,
I don't know
hey.
what the number means, but it says 420, and I'm like, all right, great.
hell yeah, dude. They know what's up. If you are suffering from ailments like joint pain or like muscle pain, you like work out, get yourself some balm, some fucking weed balm, put that on your skin, rubs it on the skins, and the pain goes away.
Mhm.
It's true.
Yeah.
Just like that movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like the head on.
Would you fuck me? I'd fuck me. Is that what we're talking about?
No,
Sure.
sure.
Oh,
let's just
I thought-
say.
I thought we were talking about fucking Silence of the Lambs.
Would you smoke me? I'd smoke me.
Yeah. Why did you have a Luc Picard accent in a little bit? And that it was like Buffalo Luc Picard.
Well, I
You just-
would.
You just
I would
get-
fuck me.
I would fuck. The funny part is that if you we're gonna get more into Luc Picard's backstory.
Hell yeah,
But
dude.
when he was younger, he was a total ladies' man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, he killed his friend to be with his lady.
Still
AKA
is.
Beverly Crusher.
Crusher, I barely know her. Hey, actually, I want to get back to the episode actually for just 1 second. I'm the king of bringing back shit that doesn't matter. But check this out. I thought for sure that Beverly Crusher at some point was going to say, this isn't a symbiotic relationship. It's a parasitic relationship. And she didn't.
Yeah.
And I was disappointed.
Yeah.
Also, Venom did not show up once in this fucking episode.
God damn it. Yeah. What the hell?
Yeah. No Tom Hardy in this episode.
Eddie Brock, where you at?
Yeah.
It'd be like you're gonna run like a turd in the wind.
What was up with his performance in that movie?
He
turned into like Jerry Lewis when
he was
Venom
not
when
because
it
he was
possessed
given
him.
he was given no direction.
Mhm.
They were just like, hey, bring your own clothes too. You know, like it's why he's just dressed like a bum when
He's
he's
like,
a human.
hey, I'm a transplant in New York until like Venom gets on. It's like, hey, check it out. Hey, what's going on?
That movie is both amazing and horrible.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was actually more fun than I was expecting.
It's
So
fun.
I was
It's a
pleasantly
ton of
surprised.
it's a ton of stupid fun.
Yeah,
It's
it's
a good
real
movie. It's a
dumb
good movie
fun.
to watch. Hi.
Yeah.
Ow.
It's a good movie to watch while you're on Felicium. It's just
Yeah.
Felicium Navidad.
I mean, I was gonna say that earlier, but just cut myself off.
Now Ricardo can say it. He's allowed
Yeah.
to say that.
Allowed to say it. What are you talking about?
You know what
Felicium.
what was an interesting drug? The drug in RoboCop 2. Remember that thing?
Oh
that-
yeah.
I don't know what it was.
It was called like Venom, wasn't it?
I
Was
think
it?
It was called Venom.
I think it was called Venom. Yeah.
Okay, well-
RoboCop 2 drug.
Yeah.
Nuke. It was called
yeah.
Nuke.
Nuke.
Okay.
That's it.
Yeah.
Venom.
Same thing. That's like a different version of Venom called Nuke. I bet you that exists somewhere.
That's a dumb enough name that it could be on the street. I believe it.
Yeah. I bet you it's a strain of weed. Oh, dude.
Oh, for sure.
You gotta smoke that nuke.
Yeah, get nuked, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also,
Sick, bro.
our last spiel. We have a YouTube channel. It's called Fugitive Games.
Oh crap, we were doing plugs.
Yeah, we do Let's
derailed it.
Plays. We're watching. We're playing. Well, I'm watching Dan play Batman: The Enemy Within.
I'm
And-
watching Marvin play LA Noire.
Yeah, and that's been a buttload of fun. Both of those.
Yeah.
We're
see?
competing on who can be a better detective.
Spoilers. It's Batman. Because Cole
We know.
Phelps he fails a lot.
Cole Phelps is no Batman.
No.
I always chose to beat people up. That was my go-to. It's like, tell me the truth. No, I won't. Fuck you. Bam. Just go straight to beating people up, dude.
Next episode, we're going to be watching Skin of Evil, the most controversial episode of the first season.
Really?
Mm.
Yeah, it is quite controversial, I think.
Skin
Oh
Thursdays.
wait, I think I remember why.
Yeah, so that'll be next week, but in the next time, thanks for listening, everybody. I know this is a weird one, but it was kind of a weird episode that we watched. So, and Prime Directive wears thin. So we'll level.
Look forward to the next time it pops up because we're just gonna be like, oh, this fucking shit again. Oh god damn it. Fucking
it does
Prime
get
Directive.
better each time. Like what's it called? The Wakanda planet one. That one's really bad. That's probably one of the worst Prime Directive ones ever. But this one's better. So anyway, we'll see you guys next time. Stay safe. It's fucked up out there. So goodbye.
Still.
Yeah.
You can't OD on it.
I was wondering, like, what's that noise? Oh, okay, that's that noise.
I was trying to cue it.